Guys, thanks for tuning in. This episode of the Money Game podcast, we have a really exciting entrepreneur, Aaron Branch. Aaron runs a successful social media marketing agency and recently featured on Dragon's Den with a new company that's exploding onto the scene called Deliver Me. We go into detail about both companies and what it's taken to build them from nothing to the point that they're currently at. I found it extremely interesting hearing about his early memories around money and how they potentially are what drive him today. Given how influential social media is today, it's a huge asset, which is why I wanted to get him down today so he can share his knowledge. So I hope you enjoy.
I think some of the best entrepreneurs and highest performers in the world, they all have some kind of trigger in their childhoods and some kind of trauma behind why they're so fixated on never being without money ever again. I would go and get a job because my son has to eat. I have to provide. So for me, business is that vehicle to not only having the necessities covered, but also having a level of comfort in life where it's aspirational and we feel that we are able to give more. You know, you make more, you can give more. If you want to commit to something, make money so you can help people and give it away.
Aaron, thanks so much for coming on, man.
Thank you for having me, bro.
No, all good. An hour late.
43 minutes.
Raise a few million on social media. Turn up when you want.
You know, I had a good reason. We were shooting content in the car, speaking to the camera, and then I was like, oh, that was our turning. Extra 20 minutes added on.
Yeah, that's typical, isn't it?
It's bad.
Get it in wherever you can.
Bad. Yeah, well, content first.
For real.
Content over content.
So you've been super busy, man. You've been at it last service. It's been inspiring to see. So just taking it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And just kind of go over a few things that you've done, really, because you know, it's been, like I said, it's been really inspiring to kind of watch all the things unfold that you're doing. So you built a 7-figure agency.
Yeah.
That's spent over £50 million in ad spend, raised over 2 million through social media in the last
2.5 in pledges,
2.5.
2.5.
So it's gone up $500,000 since I
128%. But now we're collecting it, so it's a different game now.
Featured on Dragon's Den, disrupting the market with Deliver Me. That's just like, for me, just looks like high performance, proper entrepreneurship. What's entrepreneurship to you? What does that mean to you?
Entrepreneurship to me is really just business. It's just doing business, serving people, getting products and services onto their plate that can help them with whatever they want to do, whether that's a product or service. And taking people on a customer journey. I think that's super important to, you know, not just think about how to make money from this stuff. Of course, we're on the money game, but the only way to make serious money, in my experience, is by giving a hell of a service or delivering a hell of a product. So entrepreneurship, man, it's just connecting people that want things.
Yeah. And that's you know, when we're talking about the money game, what I want people to kind of understand from this is, you know, it's not solely the money. You know, it's the money game.
Might have named it wrong.
Well, there's like different levels and different things involved in making money. So for example, when you're building a business, you are making money, but you're also part of that journey to making money is, you know, being valuable, helping people, serving people.
Sure.
And I feel that through like a financial lens. Do you know what I mean? So that's been really cool. But what I want to know is, like, so obviously you've been super successful over the last however long you've been in business.
6 years.
Scale quite quickly. And even especially now you're doing a lot of good things. What kind of qualities would you say you have that's helping you kind of achieve these things?
Qualities, you mean like characteristics?
Characteristics, yeah.
Yeah, I think, you know, me and you, well, I won't compare my career to yours in sports, but we've come from that similar mindset of, you know, sports and the character that you build in sports. I feel like resilience, learning how to lose and take an L well. Also understanding how to handle success and not getting too high with the highs or too low with the lows. And I feel like in business, just like in sports, you can get really down on yourself at times when things aren't going your way, or you can actually get too excited and over-elated and start taking too many risks when things just seem to be falling into place over and over and over again. So the characteristics, resilience is definitely top of the list, because everything that you think you know, when you put it to the test, usually won't come out the way you think it's going to come out. But it's that kind of momentum that you gain from doing those things that I've felt have helped propel and build the trajectory forwards for all of the projects that we're working on. Circling back to what you just said about, being busy and all of that stuff as well. It looks that way because I'm pumping a lot of content out.
Yeah.
But it is busy, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, it's very calculated, it's very tactical. It's not, I've just had as you're aware, you met Neo, I've just had my first child. So balance is like my priority number one now, and trying to make sure that I can perform in the right moments so that I can have balance in my life is like overarching everything right now. And feel like, those characteristics, resilience definitely comes top of the list.
What's your thoughts on that? Like work-life balance is kind of quite a topic that goes around quite a lot. What's your thoughts on that?
On work-life balance?
Yeah. What's your thoughts? How do you manage to kind of get that yourselves?
I feel like it's really difficult, and I don't feel like we've achieved it at all. My partner worked in the business as well. She's got her own entrepreneurial endeavors, but that really helps me because she's on the same page on what it takes and the sacrifices that are needed. But like, I just took a trip to Dubai for 2 weeks just to spend time with my son, because all this Dragon's Den stuff, all this business stuff has been, taking a lot of time. And at the same time, I want to have crucial moments with my son on a daily basis, which we're fine tuning, and it's always a work in progress. That's what I found. I feel like anybody can get it perfect, because you're trying to get the balance between nurturing a new child or even if you've got like an existing older child, you're trying to find the balance of nurturing them, giving them time, but also not losing your eye on the prize in terms of where your goals are and what you're trying to achieve. What can sound selfish, but you've got your own personal ambitions that aren't necessarily money related. You're just trying to achieve things, you're trying to grow, you're trying to hire more people, have a bigger legacy, have a bigger, wealth building journey. And if you just sit there all day with your son, I don't think you're going to be able to achieve it. So definitely a work in progress. And I'm new to it as well, only 11 months in now. So
yeah. So do you think it's something achievable? As in like there's a point where you can get to it like, I've got the balance. I'm not sure I believe in, the whole work-life balance thing.
It's very subjective, isn't it?
It's a bit of a myth.
And I don't know if everyone has it, regardless of if it's working for them or not. Yeah. But you're only going to find out when your kid probably turns 20 and they're either doing great things in the world or they're going wild, if you gave them enough attention. Yeah,
because I feel like, even though, like I said, it's a myth, but in terms of, I feel, if I was to put it on a scale, I feel like I do have good work-life balance, even though I think it's a bit of a myth. Yeah. But just to put it on a scale, I do think I have it. Yeah. Because I think about, do I spend enough time with my kids? Yes. Do I spend enough time on work? Yes. So I feel like I have it, but then also I just don't think it exists.
Subjective, isn't it? You never know. You never know what you don't know, and it's good if you're fulfilled and if your kids are fulfilled. I think that's all you can aim for.
So going back to where you mentioned about the characteristics that you developed as an athlete, do you feel like they're still serving you to this point now? And do you feel like how much more from then have you learned as an entrepreneur?
I feel like 100%. To answer your question simply, 100%. I think that competitive edge as an athlete, once you finish your sports career, I went on, obviously I had a scholarship to go to America, so I played at a really high level, some of my teammates are now in the NBA, so they hit the pinnacle of that performance and that kind of industry, if you like. But what I found is after, I finished with my sports career, like that competitive edge doesn't go away. The energy you bring to each day doesn't go away because I was used to waking up, going for a 2-hour shooting session, then going to university or whatever, and then having a training session.
It's like that energy has to go somewhere else.
It has to, because your body's just in routine that we're going to do something today. So now it's like, of course, on the good days, you're getting out of bed, you've got all this energy, especially when you're just coming fresh into business. And it's like, where do you channel that? And that's the other thing that I feel is really important to note as well. Like during my sports career, I had coaches, and I didn't realize how vital they were to holding me accountable, because you've got your own ambitions, you're pumping yourself forward, you're pushing your own agenda, trying to improve your career and whatever else and your skills, but they're there holding you accountable subconsciously, opening the gym, closing the gym, all of that stuff counts. And for me, even though I had that energy, it was serving me in the beginning because I just kept going and kept going and kept going. And I was used to failure, used to defeat, used to not being good enough, because you always start your career in anything crap, right? No one starts as a pro. So, I was used to that process of being able to learn stuff and implement it quickly. And I feel like that's really important for every business owner out there to do in their own journey. You can have all the energy in the world, you can keep going, but you're going to need the right information. And that's why I feel like so many people fall flat, is they don't have the right information when they're starting off.
So 2 things. Firstly, you're talking about channeling that energy somewhere else. First question is, why did you choose entrepreneurship
Yeah.
to channel that energy into? Second is obviously you come from the sports industry with, the fresh, the raw qualities of entrepreneurship, like energy and competitiveness.
Yeah.
What did you need to learn on top of that
Yeah.
to kind of get to where you are?
I'll answer the second one first because I've forgotten the first one. The thing that you need to learn is you need to learn the skills. I didn't know anything about marketing. I literally did a dissertation. I did 15,000 words on why artists should be independent so that they can build their own audiences, monetize their audiences instead of signing with major labels, right? That was all I had, 1 year of just researching social media strategies that could potentially work. But then when I started the business, I realized, okay, yeah, businesses should do all of this stuff, but nothing's going to beat that first-hand experience.
Yeah.
So, the first kind of clients that I took on, you're learning on the job and you're not an apprentice. So you're trying to make out like, you know what you're doing and show that confidence. As an athlete, that's easy because you walk on the pitch, you walk on the court, you gotta look like you're ready to go. But inside you're thinking, what the hell am I doing? What's going on? So, it was the skill set. It was how do you actually build campaigns? But more than important than what it was to build stuff, it was what's the psychology behind marketing? What's the psychology around influence and persuasion, which is marketing is just influence and persuasion through different channels. And that's a much broader topic that you can't just pick that up in a couple of weeks, even years. It's going to take a lot of campaigns, a lot of spend, a lot of getting it wrong before you start to recognize patterns in what people respond to. And that's in marketing, sales, through and through. So I just needed the skills. I just need to figure out not only what do I need to be able to do to get results, but also how do I manage the risks so I'm not wasting anyone's money as well. So what are the safest bets when it comes to marketing?
I really hope you're enjoying the show. I would just like to ask for 1 minute of your time to tell you about my sponsor whose support makes the show possible, CPC Finance. CPC Finance is a finance broker that specializes in sourcing and packaging a wide range of property funding. You name it, from buy-to-lets to commercial properties, auction investments, property developments. They are everything you'd want as a finance broker working for you on your property deal. They're extremely experienced. They know their market extremely well, which means they can move quickly. They're on the ball. They've been in the game for 30 years, which has enabled them to, one, build very strong relationships with a variety of lenders, which as an investor is super important, especially when things don't go to plan. Deals in certain situations aren't straightforward, which is often the case. They are bespoke specialists. And two, they have a brilliant understanding of all types of property investing. They know the strategies, they understand deal structures. There isn't anything these guys haven't seen, they're seasoned pros. So if you're someone looking for property finance of any kind, go to cpcfinance.co.uk, and on the homepage you can schedule in a call at whatever time or day suits. So the first question was, why did you choose, coming out of
I got it.
Why did you choose entrepreneurship? And also, why did you choose social media marketing?
Yeah, like I said, dissertation, 15,000 words. I started getting inspired by it. My degree was in music, so I was producing beats, selling beats, doing all this stuff. But then when I started looking at when I started looking at the business side, bro, I was like, you know what? This is amazing. Like, artists, if they're not signed, the problem is with that market as well. So I started thinking, how do I help artists using all this information I now know? But artists unsigned, there's a paradox there because they got no money because they're not signed.
Do you know, this was up, I also done another episode with a guy, you might know him, I think you follow each other on Instagram, Rye Beaumont. He's a singer-songwriter. He was literally saying the exact same thing on the last episode, was kind of going into the music industry.
Exactly. So at the end of the day, you have to go where people can afford your services or your products, right? So I started with artists. Immediately after 2 days, I realized, look, artists, there's loads of them. It looks easy to access, but they've got no funding. So then I was like, you know what, it has to be businesses. And there's a hell of a lot, potentially a lot more businesses that have the finance that can, work with us than the ones that don't. So I just saw that opportunity. I had the knowledge. I had enough kind of insight into the success stories that can come from great marketing. And that really inspired me to say, you know what, how do I help people and businesses using this stuff? Which was big. It was good.
So give the audience a little bit of like a background of, or just an idea of what social agendas do.
So we're a full-scale digital marketing agency. We specialize in paid social media advertising, predominantly on Facebook and Instagram. But the overall thing we do is we help businesses grow their sales. So it was just sales, but now it's turned into how do we help businesses crowdfund? How do we help them raise millions of pounds, just like we've done with Deliver Me?
Yeah.
Because what we do as a service offering, really, with the ads and the emails and the landing pages, you can apply it to anything. You can apply it to a personal brand, promote yourself, start getting more influence and authority around who you are in your industry.
Yeah.
So we build out those marketing systems, and then we help people grow whatever it is that they're looking to get as the end goal.
Yeah. So, when you started off, obviously you kind of, started off fresh and you had to learn on the job. How did you go from that to scaling it to where you're working with, I think you've worked with 1,000 clients now?
1,000 clients, yes. So over 1,000 clients we had at the peak of scaling the business. And this is a thing, scaling is the sexiest part about business. Everyone's talking about how do you scale your property, your agency, whatever it is. And at the peak, we had 24 team members right before my son was born. So when I knew the due date or the due month, I was like, I'm putting all in so that when I leave here, everything's the biggest and the best that it can possibly be. Big mistake, because having a child, tore me out of my normal routine and I couldn't do what I wanted to do. Yeah. But the scaling side of things, it comes with, I'm all about helping businesses scale. That's what we live and breathe on. That's our oxygen. But at the same time, you got to know the symptoms and the side effects of growing too fast. Yeah. And for me, we've had all this success. We've made loads of money. We've got loads of great staff and team members. It's exceeded my expectations of when I started, and I didn't know what I was doing. But now we're much more about, doing it in a kind of way that is sustainable. Yeah. Right? Sustainably scaling a business where you're making sure you're bringing on the right people. Yeah. Organizational structure for me is the paramount thing, and it's the values that your team has rather than the skills that they have, which are most important to me now. But you only learn that when you're absolutely, driving the accelerator forwards. What we were doing is we were so good at doing our job, which is generating leads and selling services, applying that to our own campaigns absolutely skyrocketed us. Yeah. Over 2 years, we went from, 3 team members to 24 team members. All of those people at that level of executive were now being kind of transitioned into managers. They weren't ready for that jump. Being a great manager and a leader is completely different to being a great advertiser, copywriter, content creator. And that was really the best education I've ever had firsthand of what it takes and what you need to have a sustainably profitable business, because that's what's most important, profit. It's not, the 7-figure revenues and all this. None of that matters if you're not taking home a profit. So for me, profitability and scaling have to go hand in hand now.
Yeah. You see, with scaling, so you mentioned you went from 3 to 24.
Yeah.
Is that something you needed to do because that's how many clients you was getting, or was it a thing where I'm gonna make us scale by getting more staff in so we can grow, or was it growing where you needed to get staff in?
Yeah, so this is the thing. The demand came before the supply. Right. And this is the thing. You're either going to hire people and not have enough work, or you're going to have too much work and have to catch up and hire people. Yeah. I've never, ever seen that balance in all of my clients' businesses either. And this is what I tell them straight off the bat. You're going to either have to invest and lose a bit of money on the front end, but then you're prepared. But then there's another argument, which I'll talk about in a minute. But the main thing is, like, you have to have the right people on board. And when the business is coming in and you've got a great reputation, you're getting great results, it's hard to say no. It's hard to say we're not going to take that project on because we haven't got the team built. So you're catching up. Our thing was, because we're so good at our jobs in terms of advertising, we're turning the ad spend up. And that just means the calendars are getting filled up. At the peak, we had 6 sales staff on the phones, full calendars, 8 calls per sales staff per day. The amount of inquiries was just incredible. And that was obviously boosted by the pandemic as well, everyone trying to go online. And that's, again, something that we're not going to fall into the trap of doing now. But the demand, we were scaling that, and then we were catching up with the kind of delivery and the team. And that means that you're not filtering people as strongly as you might need to have the best people on board. And that comes out 3 months later when they've settled in their role. And then, for some people, that toxic energy just starts to emerge and they become cancerous to your culture, and it just emerges. But when you're trying to catch up, you're not looking out for it strong enough because you just want to rationalize it. But they're great at this. I know they don't really fit our culture, but they can do the job. Who cares about the culture? We're all going remote anyway. And it still comes out on those Zoom calls and these private group chats and all the rest of it. So man, definitely.
No, that's such an important point, because, I'm sure you even know as well, going back to your background in sports, about how important culture is in that team of them doing well. So how do you kind of go about doing that and keeping that culture? Are there things that you apply, daily when a new staff member comes in or you're interviewing someone? What kind of qualities or personality traits do you need in them to kind of fit in with that culture?
It's all about values. So we've got company values. One of the main ones is give a shit. And these are values that aren't just like, we want to be the best and this, that, and the other. It's like real kind of language that you genuinely feel towards something. And give a shit really encompasses across everything how to behave. Don't just do something. One of our values as well is do the boring work, right? Which is, you're going to have boring work in your schedule. We all do. I have to reply to emails still sometimes when we're, just overwhelmed. So, you're going to have to do the boring work, and these values are kind of like a roadmap. And there was a guy who I actually had a call with called Shan Hanif from Genflow, and they're absolutely crushing it with what they do. And he really nailed in, I was asking about how do I scale up even further, talking about raising money. He's raised millions of pounds for his business. And he said, it's all about, having this blueprint and this DNA. And he took it like a level deeper than just values. And it's what's this DNA that when they come in, you literally give them your DNA handbook. This is who we are. This is how we behave. And that really nailed it to me because he's got over 100 staff members across the world. And I was struggling to maintain this 24-person team and keep them all motivated, inspired. So exhausting, right? And it was all about the hiring process. It's all about the prevention, not the cure. Because you can stop the wrong people getting in by saying, hey, this is how we do things. If this isn't right for you, that's okay. But at the same time, this ain't the place for you because everyone has to be reading off the same hymn sheet.
How do you kind of get over or get past the hurdle of a guy you can interview or come in could fake it for the first week?
Never hire someone off one interview. Or for the first week when he's just rolled in.
No, well, he could fake it until maybe he's in the place and his real character traits start coming out.
Does
that really happen to you? Or?
Yeah, of course. Overselling who they are. But again, I don't blame them because the opportunity is there. As a business owner, I take full responsibility for everything. It's on me.
So there's no real way to get you got to just figure it out.
You got to just roll through the people. Eventually, if you're doing the right things, if you're building the right brand, you attract the right team. The right team members come to you and they just start emerging as leaders in their own right, and you can just see the qualities. It's all of the subtle things that make great performance. It's not just scoring the goals. It's how many yards are you covering? How much energy have you got? Are you prepared? Are you well slept and rested from the last training session? All these things, and we've got something. Performance marketer DNA I've built, and honestly, it was out of pure frustration. I sat there and I smashed out on a Saturday morning 15 pages, thousands of words on what it means to be a social agendas marketer. And it doesn't matter if you're a PA, if you're sales, if you're marketing, whoever you are in this team, right? If you're a team leader, performance manager, whatever, this is what it means to be a social agendas marketer. And I even put stuff in there like hydration, how to prepare yourself mentally before you hit your desk. Because I'm seeing people still eating their breakfast. And that's cool, but are you ready for your day? Because we've got 10 client accounts that need you to hit it and nail it. You're not just working for one business. You've got the hardest job in the world because you've got to bring creativity and ideas and accuracy to 10 different clients at some stages. So you can't be behind schedule, not fed, not fueled, not hydrated. If you're going to be a marketer, and that comes again from the sports side of things, you just have to be ready. Otherwise, you're not going to perform.
That's big. That's big. Do you have any case studies of maybe clients that wouldn't mind you mentioning kind of their stories from coming to you and how much of a difference online marketing's done for them?
100%. So one of the biggest case studies I'd say for the company was a company called 7 Days Performance. A guy called George M. Ross, co-founders. They've absolutely killed it. These guys are like the hardest working guys I've ever seen like on our client roster. They got a competition company. When they came to us, they came for our training packages first. So they came to learn advertising, how we do it, how we run it. They were making, let's say, multi-five figures at this stage. When we finished our work with them, they started getting more results. Then we took over their campaigns. Then we trained some of their staff on how to do it for them. So this is like the best client timeline we have. By the end of it, they're doing over $1 million a month. From 20, around 15, 20K in sales to over 7 figures a month. And they've just been flying ever since. And they're like top 3 in their industry in this country now. So unbelievable. We've got clothing companies. It's all on socialagendas.com. I could talk about it forever, but if people are interested, definitely go check out the website.
Yeah. What usually is kind of the reason why people come to you? Just for increased sales? They're struggling for sales?
You know what? It was initially just we want to grow. Obviously, a lot of clients come because they're not in a good place. And those aren't the clients that we're really looking to help. We want to help people who've got a good thing, a proven thing, take it even further. But they want to grow sales and profit. That is their ambition. They've got something good. They want to take it to the next level. They just don't know how to break through the barrier of finding customers outside of their regular customer base. So they come to us for not only how to do that and the strategy, but also the creative ideas. And
at this point, content. They have got like socials in place, though, haven't they?
Now some from scratch.
Some from scratch.
We're mainly focused on scaling up businesses now.
Right.
Startups, like I said, it's all about the training. You need to know how to do this stuff yourself before you hand it over to anyone. Because all you're going to do is be sitting there nervous and uncertain about what you're spending your money on. You're not just giving a set fee to get the end result. You're saying, hey, agency that I've just had 3 calls with, I want you to spend money on my behalf. And that is a huge responsibility. So, if they don't know how it works as a precursor to that, they're never going to have the mental stability to see it through to get the result. And they become nightmare clients, which I teach, we teach other agencies how to run their agencies to the level that we're at. And the one thing we want to avoid is headaches. And if you wouldn't work with them for a decade, don't work with them for a day. And that was from a guy called Alex Hormozy. Great quote.
Yeah. So what are some of the tough parts of this process? You got case studies of scaling companies and then helping them do really well. What are the tough parts of it? What's companies that come to you that it's a lot harder for them to scale? What are the reasons for those?
The bigger they are, often the harder it is to scale. People think they've got more money, they've got more opportunity to scale. But the fact of the matter is, if they've got such a market share already where they're nailing it, now we're going to have to go and find audiences who aren't necessarily that interested in their product. And then we're going to have to convert their attention through social media, through great social media content, videos, images, through great psychological hooks, trying to trigger pain that they don't know they have, so that our solution can actually be relevant. And we're having to do that with people and groups, whether it's going to different countries, whether it's attacking the same market with a different product line. You're having to do that and convince people who aren't as interested as the core audience they have. And that is the biggest. And the only way to do that is through creative marketing. It's not just about running more spend, because you can keep spending more money, but your results don't grow in line with the spend. So it's all about ideas, creating great ideas that convert people's minds into problems they didn't know they had.
There's going to be some times where I'm going to go back to a previous topic that was on. Another question popped in my head. I'm like, shit, no, I've got to ask that. One that just popped into my head when we're talking about the culture thing. Do you think that the content you put out, and you're so active in putting content out, people get to know you through your content? So that helps with people that apply for jobs because they maybe see themselves aligned to you. Do you think that helps? And is that something you actively know about?
So we get applications like daily, DM, where can I send my CV? I've done a video, so we get some really creative applications, and those ones do stand out. There's a catch-22 with that, because at the same way people come to your business to work with you, if you're coming to my business at the executive level, you're not working with me. You think you're working for the business I've built, but you're working for your manager, and your manager is reporting to the performance manager, and the performance manager speaks to me because I don't have time to manage all the managers. So with that in mind, it sounds great for attracting great candidates who want to be a part of your business, your great business you've built. But the catch is they come and they think they're going to be sitting next to me getting free mentorship when, mate, I'm here right now. I've been on a podcast on Monday. I'm at the office maybe 3 days a week, all over the place, just hustling and putting the agenda forward. So when they have that realization, sometimes it can work against you. But overall, I would say yes, it does attract like-minded individuals. You get, out of every 5 messages, you're going to see someone that you think, wow, you'd be a great fit for the team. But then they have to go through the whole funnel of, is this right for you? This is our DNA. What can you do, and how quickly can you add value as well?
If you were to go back 6 years when you started, and yourself now would tell yourself what you accomplished 6 years ago, would you have believed it? Do you think like you was capable of that at the time or not?
Yeah, definitely.
A lot of people normally say, "No, I had no idea that." But you knew.
I knew. I had a vision board.
In terms of like building, a company of 20 plus people. And so you knew.
Dude. I was manifesting like crazy. There's videos that we've got right now where I'm walking through my office. I was in the co-working space on the ground floor on my own, and I've got videos of me walking through like the floor that we're on now, saying, there's just loads of empty desks. They haven't obviously partitioned it. I'm there walking around saying, one day I'm going to have 20, 30 people on these phones, all sales consultants for our business because we're thriving and we want to be the biggest agency in the world. Now, we didn't have 24 sales agents, but the team grew to that level because I was putting it out there publicly. And whether people believed it or not, things start to be, going in your favor, and you start attracting not only the right people, but things just start falling into place. And I'm a big believer in manifestation and attracting what you want out of the future. And I still haven't hit, you say, people say, oh yeah, I didn't know I was going to achieve so much. Maybe I'm too early in my journey. Maybe they've achieved way more than me for their goals, whatever their goals are. But I still know I'm nowhere near the generational wealth goals that I've set myself from day one, because I started business to build wealth. I didn't just start business because I like clicking computers.
But at that point, did you have a blueprint where you knew how, or was like, I don't know how yet, I don't know the skill, I don't necessarily have the skills yet either, but I just know I'm going to work it out?
I had no idea.
So you knew what you wanted. You knew you wanted 20 plus staff. You didn't exactly know how you was going to do it.
I knew I needed a certain revenue, a certain income, and to get to that income, I'm going to need help from people. But I had no roadmap, no idea. I had great coaches who showed me how marketing tactics work, how sales tactics work, how to find the right customers, how to qualify everything you need to know. But ultimately, you're learning on the job. I still feel like I'm learning on the job. Who's gonna coach you to go on to Dragon's Den and pitch? You can be the best public speaker in the world. I guarantee when them lift doors open, it's just now you're just moving off instincts. You're not moving off skills and preparation. You're moving off who you really are.
Do you think them instincts kind of gets you to a certain point, and then you need to kind of, get a bit more strategic?
100%. But no, I think it's the other way around. I think you learn so much strategy. The more experience you get, the more you move and make great decisions based not off rationale, based off your gut feeling and your intuition. And that's when you're in the zone. Like right now, I'll see a campaign. I'll come for the last 10 minutes of a strategy session for a new client just to observe the team, and I'll just know that's a great idea, that's a great roadmap, and most of the time I won't have to say anything. But if I move this piece, and we put this spend here, and we change this video, instead of being this, put it to this, make it more aggressive, I know that's going to affect the results. And that's not me thinking, that's just me doing. I feel it. And don't think, feel. That's what your best compass is in business.
Bro, every time you say campaign, pops into head going, campaign.
Blow.
Every time.
Love that.
Going back to online marketing, just want to, so I know a few people, even a few footballers actually, that are like starting brands, like clothing brands.
Yes.
And I just wanted to...
A few of my clients.
But there's actually another one as well that started it.
There's a referral, man.
This is the question. He's early on.
All right.
Maybe it's a potential. So a new company who's maybe making a small amount of money. what would your advice be to them to, for organic growth, where maybe they haven't got the amount of money yet to pay an agency like you, but to start off with, to increase sales? What kind of things would you put in place? What they need to do?
Like I said earlier, man, get training. Go and find experts who have track record, who you can qualify, see the results, speak to customers, reach out to people direct. We actually get some clients phoning us up after we've, case studied them for their success. And they're like, listen, we're happy to promote your business, but is there a way to stop people from calling us all the time and asking about you?
Right.
And we're like, hell no. They're going to keep calling. You better keep telling them what we did because we need your help now, right? But for anyone starting out, you don't know what you don't know. So get training, find the skills that are going to make the biggest difference. And for all businesses starting out, it's how do you get more sales?
Mean them learn marketing themselves?
Learn it yourself. And if you don't have the time, appoint someone in your business who can learn it for you. If you're busy being a professional athlete, it's limited time, isn't it? So go and get somebody and put them in your business that can learn it for you. Because otherwise you're just going to either waste time or worse, you're even going to waste money, or equally, they're both as bad as each other. Time and money are just not infinite resources. So you're better off learning the right way to do things from multiple people and then applying it to your business rather than just handing your money. And what people don't realize is the reason why we stop just doing startups and taking their money without training them first is they're not handing over money. People hand you their money and they try to hand you the whole responsibility of their business.
Right.
So don't hand over money and say, here's the whole responsibility of my dreams and fulfillment coming true. Take responsibility of your shit, hire somebody and learn the skills, and then you get the result. Once you know you can get the result, pay someone else to do it for you. And you'll probably get a better rate because you know the stuff yourself.
Yeah. Do you feel like as well, the online marketing can apply to every single business?
Every single business. What business doesn't need more awareness?
Yeah.
And even, the big argument is, does it only work for like B2C brands where you're selling stuff direct to people? B2B, promote yourself, become the number one authority in any game. You're going to attract opportunities that you didn't even know you needed. Deliver Me came because of my success with social agendas. I'm the first investor in that business. That came because I've got track record from doing great work in the other business. 6 years ago, I would never have known what that business was or where it was going to come from. And that opportunity can't manifest itself in any other way than the way it did.
Do you feel like there's a bit of conflict there in terms of you're teaching what you sell as well?
Not at all, because anyone can learn these skills. The information's out there. We've all got the internet. Anyone can learn how to be a great marketer. The difference is how much pain and how much delay are you willing to go through before you get to that ideal outcome. So you can go and learn over 1,000 YouTube videos, hours and hours and hours, 1,000 hours. Well, why not just pay someone who teaches you the 10 hours that you actually need?
Then if you taught everyone, then why would they need you?
Because eventually they don't have the time. There's higher leverage tasks in every business. Every business, if advertising was the most important thing in every business, every CEO in the world, including Zuckerberg himself, would be building his own ad account, wouldn't he? It ain't the highest leverage skill in your business. So in the beginning, you're going to need to do that. But eventually, you're going to be operations. You're going to need to put time into your delivery and fulfillment. You're going to need to find better suppliers, cheaper suppliers, same quality. You're going to need to put sales training and focus on there. So as you elevate as a CEO, like I said, it was just me. Then I had my team below me. Then my team had teams below them. And then I had to get a performance manager in between me and my managers because they were just killing my whole calendar off. And then you lose all your time to innovate. Advertising, dude, I haven't touched an ad account in years because it's a low leverage task, but it's an essential task.
Got you. Yeah. So it's, you got your new brand, get the training, learn it to a degree where you can start scaling it. So you get to the point where you can then pass that off to somebody else, like yourselves and your agency, and you can go and do like more.
And then once you get bigger and bigger, eventually an agency doesn't make sense either. So then, like I said, with those guys from 7 days, then it's about how do we help you install a team? Because you know the stuff. We'll train your team so you don't have to, because just knowing it doesn't mean you can teach it. Right? So being a great player doesn't mean you're going to be a great coach. So we'll coach and build that team with you. So then all of a sudden now you're self-sufficient. And any agency that's trying to keep clients on board forever, they ain't doing the job.
So you get you often get to a point where you pass it back to the company, like, look, we've done everything we can for you now.
Handover, yeah.
Good luck.
Handover and training.
Yeah.
Anyone who ain't got handover and training at the end of their contract, it's like a PT. You know, people with their personal trainers for 3 years. How haven't you achieved your goals in 3 years? You should be up running and know everything you need to be at that level. But of course, that ain't the way the game goes.
Yeah.
People want to keep cashing in.
Yeah. So, you're very entrepreneurial, and you know your stuff in terms of online marketing. I want the show to be kind of a tool where people can come and maybe get ideas and new ways and ventures to make money. Obviously, online thing is like a huge thing now. Social media is huge. Is there any ways that you've picked up or seen recently or come across, or any trends that you feel like someone who may be struggling for income whether they're unemployed or whatever, is there any ways that you've come across that you think they can start making money online?
Man, how long is a piece of string? It's a piece of string.
Yeah.
Thing is, if you're just going into business just to make money,
sometimes you
need income. You're going to need to give your time away, and you're going to need to get paid for your time. And if that's as an apprentice, if that's as somebody who's just there to make the tea and coffee, just to acquire the skills and knowledge, an intern, that's what the road you need to go down.
Yeah.
Don't be, so kind of ignorant to think that just because you've got a great idea with none of the skills or the finance, anyone's going to give a shit. Mm-hmm. People don't care. There's a million ideas out there. You can go online now and say, give me 100 business ideas. It literally will come up industry by industry, and you can start any one of them. But the problem is, first of all, if you're not interested in it and all you're doing it for is money, you're always going to put money before your customers. Mm-hmm. So there's big problem number one. Number two is, if you're not passionate about it and you're just doing it for money, what's the point, right? Yeah. Now, if you need an income, go get a job. What is this? I'm an entrepreneur. I was a recruitment officer before I did this for 3 months. I needed to live before. And when I started my business, I was signing on for universal credit, £50 a week, driving a Peugeot 206. Like, that's the game. You're either gonna get a job and build your business while you're working. And if you're not good enough to get a job, what does that say about your skill set? Yeah. Go and get some goddamn skills. The internet's free for most places. Go to a library, right? And that's the problem, man. It's a mindset thing. Oh yeah, I'm broke. I need an income. Let me start a business. Yeah. Okay, that's like the highest risk decision you've ever made in your life. Well, for these people, probably not. Yeah. But it's the mindset and this arrogance that I see in young people today that come through the application process, that come through our training programs for the agency side. Oh, what do you want to get out of this? I want to make £100,000 a year. Okay, great. But, do you enjoy marketing? Not really, no. Okay, how much courses, how much time have you put into this? Nothing. We're not going to bring that person on board because their mindset is completely opposite to the characteristics and integrity you need to be successful in a business. Yeah. There has to be some interest there. And that ain't popular to say either. Yeah, anyone can start a business. I used to be about saying that kind of thing. I don't believe it's true anymore. Everyone can't be successful in business. It's a specific kind of character, personality that's willing to put in the amount of sacrifice needed and the pain that you're going to suffer to follow it through. So get a job is my simple answer. Get a job.
So do you feel like whatever someone gets involved in, they have to have a good level of interest in it?
100%.
I think so.
Now, that used to be for me. I used to say, look, I'm only going to work with clients. I'm interested in their industries, their businesses. I'm interested in entrepreneurship as well. So I love just working with business owners and people who inspire me through doing their own thing. But at the same time, we're a business that isn't predicated on what my interests are. So as soon as I'm not really on the tools and on the campaigns as much as I used to be, and I'm focusing more on the training side, now we'll work with anybody in a set category of businesses that we've got results for before, because we know we can get those results. Yeah. And having a level of interest, 100%, man, you've got to be interested. If you're not interested, you're disinterested. So as soon as something shinier comes across, you're going to be distracted, lose focus on your original thing. And then what you see there is called serial dabblers. We call them, it's the office talk, serial dabbler. Last week they were a marketer. This week they're a forex trader. Next week they're a drop shipper. Next week they're a property investor. Yeah. Come on, man. Yeah. What are you gonna stick at?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely get you in terms of, as a long-term kind of thing. But I mean, kind of what I was looking to get from that question is, sometimes you have to, when you really want to change your situation around, sometimes you have to follow the money a little bit, even if maybe you're not interested in it.
The safest money is getting a job.
Yeah.
In a field that you're interested. Yeah. Why not get a job at a place where you want to build a similar business? Learn it from the ground up. It took me years to even get my feet on the ground in this business. It would have been way less painful. I've got no marketing agency experience. If I could have done it again and I wanted a less painful, easier journey, I've got no regrets.
Yeah.
I should have went and worked for a marketing agency. See what HR communicate like. See what your colleagues are like. See what positions there are in the hierarchy. Instead of having to do it backwards. But that's like that kind of irrational ambition that athletes have. You know what I mean? The risk of being a sports person is huge as well. So it's just irrational risk taking. But there's simpler and easier ways to get there.
What do you think about, speaking about athletes, when you look at athletes online and footballers or whoever, and their personal brands, do you see many people doing it well or not?
Yeah, man, you.
I don't even feel like I do it that well, to be fair, but I think I'm focusing on a lot more. But what do you think in terms of take away me?
100%, man. Like,
do you see people doing well?
The athletes now, like you said, we work with so many.
But as well, don't just think about the top ones.
We're not
talking about.
Look, we work with so many professional sports people who aren't. Look, being a footballer or being a professional sports person now, you're not defined by just that endeavor anymore. Because back in the day, you would have been way more restricted in what you could say, what you could do, how you could come across in your teams.
You think beforehand?
Yeah.
I think it's more restricted.
Is
now.
it?
I think so.
Wow. Well, I don't think so because you won't be able to do what you're doing right now. Well, maybe
it's frowned upon.
Oh, you've had backlash?
Not yet, obviously. Well,
not yet.
Not yet, because it ain't come out.
But I'm waiting for the email.
No, but like, for example, I've had backlash about me doing property.
Yeah.
It's still, there's
still a stigma around it. But this is what
sure.
I mean, like, there's a transition that's going on though, because athletes are still pushing their agendas forward and they're being creative and they're being expressionate, whether that's creating a clothing line, whether that's endorsing a certain product or, supplement. You have audiences built because you're so widespread in one of the most popular, sports in your respective countries. So it's like, there's a lot more that you guys have to offer. And I feel like the fulfillment of that started already. Like we've worked with loads of, footballers in particular.
With that have companies or more just personal brand?
Nah, companies.
Really?
Companies, yeah. A lot of clothing.
And how many of them detach themselves from their companies?
A fair few. That's
what I mean.
People don't notice them.
That's what I mean.
At the same time, they are the driving force behind it. So it's not hidden, but it's not also promoted as, Do
you think that's a good business decision, or do you think that's maybe suffers a little bit and they could do better if they
this is the problem. You attach it just to you as soon as you decide that you want it to be an automated, self-fulfilling business.
Yeah.
They're the promoters of the brand, like any CEO is the promoter of their brand. But at a point, you've got to detach your name because the product and the offer should be good enough on its own. So they're kind of walking into a trap door. If they do start flooding their feeds with this product and this offer, then all of a sudden, people are only buying it for their kind of attention. But if they're just buying that brand and they've built a standalone brand that they've helped push in certain subtle ways, I feel like that's much more long-term focused.
They do both.
All of them are. Everyone who's in the ads are their teammates. With their audiences getting tied in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's endorsement, but then there's also building something that's unique and identifiable on its own merit.
Yeah.
I think that's super important.
Yeah. Do you find any common traits in the athletes that have their companies? Are they all similar to deal with, or are they very different?
Yeah, man. They're all hard to get hold of. You're all hard to get hold of. It's tough. Honestly, communication's tough because, we have set times, set appointments. You guys are accountable to turn up to the training ground, the game days. And out of that, it can be a bit sporadic, let's say. So I think one of the traits is definitely communication is going to be a challenge. But you set those kind of, but look, when I say dealing with athletes, like I said, a lot of these guys who are doing the best on our roster, they've got people running those businesses. They're not wild enough to think that they can be a professional athlete and a full-time CEO. It's tough to balance both of those gigs. So they're building teams. They've got a brother or they've got a friend who they trust that can get the vision to where it needs to be,
Yeah.
and they come in as that kind of board shareholder and give the direction.
Well, I knew one of that you work with. I didn't know you had a few. I'm intrigued now. What kind of companies are they?
Oh, mate. Clothing.
All clothing?
Yeah, majority clothing. Yeah.
Why do you think it's all clothing?
I mean, why keep promoting other people's stuff?
No, but I mean, why clothing? Why not something else? It seems like it's a common thing.
It's fashion, isn't it? So it's fashion. So I think it's an expressionate thing where, you know, people are always wearing brands. Why not wear your own brand?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's...
No, I know, I get that. I just mean, you know, in terms of like, why is it just clothing? But maybe it's fashion. I guess fashion is maybe mixing the culture with football a little bit, I guess. So.
Football is fashion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amount of people following it.
So I wanted to go into Deliver Me a little bit.
Cool.
And kind of put that out there and explain to the audience kind of what you got going on.
Yeah.
How did it come about? Oh, what is it firstly?
Yeah, Deliver Me. So we're all about making anything, anytime, anywhere a reality. So look at all the on-demand delivery apps that are out there right now, mainly focused on food. We want to widen that whole horizon.
So we're talking Deliveroo, Just Eat.
Yeah, so we're talking about offering camera equipment, technology, pharmaceuticals. You can order your Apple AirPods on the platform. I've done that myself.
Yeah.
Anything in a 3-mile radius, our people will be your personal shopper and go and get it on your behalf.
Yeah. So I'm at home, for whatever reason, I can't get to the shops. I get Deliver Me to go to Curry's, whatever. They go and get me AirPods, bring it to my house.
Yep. Within 30 minutes.
Within 30 minutes.
And the way that our technology is built and what makes us different is all of our riders are assigned a payment card.
Right.
So they can be hanging around those shops and not have to go from your location there. They can be hanging around. We don't need pre-existing relationships with the stores. Right. So we have their inventory plugged into our system. And then if you order something from any of those shops that can provide it, they literally just walk in like you would, scan the card, off you go, straight to yours.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
Yeah. And what is that 30-minute thing like a guarantee or what?
Yeah, so that's the target. Obviously, it's a 3-mile radius. So unless someone gets hit by a car, God forbid, they'll be there in 30 minutes. 3 miles. Yeah. You could run it in 30 minutes. You could. I couldn't.
So what kind of stage is it at now? How many riders you got?
So
how many locations?
We're in one location. We're in Birmingham right now. We've just, obviously, we did a crowdfunding campaign a year ago, which was hugely successful. We raised £250,000. Now we're stepping up and we're trying to raise £2 million. So a big jump. Yeah. But we're active in Birmingham. So
did you raise the 250 through socials as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
You were there. You were a witness.
Oh, of course. Yeah, you done it like 4 days.
Yeah, 4 days. And pledges 4 days. Took a month to collect it. So with 2 million, it might take 2-3 months to get all those collections done. But it's all part of the roadmap. It's all part of the plan.
Yeah. So just recently as well, you raised 2.5
in pledges.
Yeah. And there's more to raise.
No. So it's just the collections that need to take place now.
Collections.
So we've got all these people who have pledged.
Yeah.
But to be invested through the platforms, they have to be aware of the risks. That means they have to take a quiz. They have to enter all their details, create an account. They've got to put their payment details in.
Yeah.
Getting 1,000+ people to do that is a challenge within itself.
What's the minimum amount that you can invest?
£15.
£15? Oh, really?
Yeah, it's crowdfunding campaign, so it's literally £15 and you can have shares in Deliver Me.
Yeah. So what does it look like for an investor in terms of like their involvement, their returns? Literally just put it in, track the journey.
So our goal is obviously to build and grow this company nationwide. So we want to be in as many locations as we possibly can. Our roadmap is to get acquired. So we're not trying to build this and get profitable or to list it on the stock exchange ourselves.
Yeah.
But we are really confident in our ability to get it to a place where we've launched the same way we have in Birmingham, and we're active in 20 to 30 sites by the end of this year, hopefully. And then come the end of the 2-year plan that we've got with this raise, hopefully being in 50 different towns and cities. And through that, our acquisition will become a no-brainer, we're hoping, because simply, we're just adding lots of geographical locations that the big players aren't in. We're not trying to face them head on. We look at ourselves as a new market segment. We're not just another Deliveroo or Uber Eats.
Right.
We're a new market segment where there's a lot of potential for growth. And it's already happening. There's already lots of successful businesses doing similar stuff to what we do, not exactly in the same way, in places like Dubai, for example.
Yeah. So you're obviously active right now. So right now in Birmingham,
yes,
your drivers are moving around, delivering things right now.
Yep.
How do you kind of keep track of how many deliveries you're doing? Is that something you know about? How many you're doing a week, a month?
Back-end user database. So since launching, it was 2 months ago, we've done 200 orders. Nice. Current stats, they're all on the dashboard. So we have it up in the office, on the TV, daily. Yeah.
So do you think that this idea that you have from the big companies, the deliveries and Just Eat and all the other kind of competitors, do you feel like that's something that they've missed, or is it something they would have thought about but they didn't want to do it?
It's primary industry, isn't it? They know what they're doing, and before this could emerge, without them, there'd be no ideas like this. But the biggest demand for on-demand delivery is hunger. It's an emotional and it's a hormone-based feeling that human beings have. But through that convenience of just having someone bring you what you need, now our psychological state has been altered, especially in this country, where it's been a bit slower than in America, for example. Everything's on-demand delivery. So now, as the consciousness kind of grows around convenience, actually, why can't I just get XYZ from the shop instead of having to go, I need some paracetamol, bring it to me. Why am I going to get my clothes, my shoes? It's a Sunday, I'm hungover, I'm knackered. Bring me my food, but also bring me, a warm set of socks. You know what I mean? Because I need to cozy up.
So it can literally be anything.
Anything. Pharmaceuticals, technology, mainly.
So what would you say the threats are to this? What would
the threats?
Yeah.
No one's threatened me yet.
But is there anything in mind where you think you're being aware of, or something that just the tough points that you could face throughout this
technology.
journey?
Technology means that there's risk in tech. At the end of the day, technology is very complex. It can fail. The risks are about data. It's all about how have we protected our assets, which fortunately we've got a sick development team. And that is our primary goal. We don't want to be one of these stories where, like Vodafone a couple of years ago had all of their database corrupted and taken out. So it's all about making sure that technology is stable, secure, and that it works. Everything else falls into place.
So I just want to dive in a little bit to how you've managed to raise that much through socials. Talk me through that.
Mate, it's just marketing.
Obviously, a huge part of it was having social agendas and having your personal brand.
So my personal brand. So I've got a great network. So if you look at just the money that we did the last time, the 250, we actually ended it a little bit early and just collected the 230 and ended the campaign. We overfunded that. We only wanted 150, so we overfunded that one. A lot of the people who invested in that are clients, people who we've helped get results, people who we've grown, or people who know about the people we've grown, and people who have just been kind of on my journey with me. For the last 6 years, the first thing I started doing was posting content and talking about marketing. Through 6 years, hundreds of thousands of ad spend, like constant contact with this audience, you're going to get close to people. There's going to be a massive level of trust. And I'm really grateful that, a lot of the people in my community back whatever it is I'm pointing at, saying that I believe in. So that 230, a lot of it came from that community.
What percentage of it do you reckon are from people that you don't know and you haven't met? Majority of it, right?
Most of them I don't know. I've never met them face to face, but they're. I mean, how do you kind of put together who you know these days? You know what I mean? I see someone I've been.
But I mean, like people that aren't clients and etc.
Loads.
Majority.
Loads of people I've never met, but they've just been on this journey with me. They've been following the social media channels. And through somehow, some way, they've stuck around. So
that's what you'd put a huge amount of it down to. Raising that amount of money is your personal brand, the content you push out.
And the idea itself, I don't take the credit. I don't take the credit.
You can have a good idea.
If that was the case, I'd point out a radiator and say, invest in this.
No, I mean, you can have a good idea, but if no one knows about it.
Yeah, exactly. So the network, 100%, the energy, the trust, and the ability to also communicate it in the right way and introduce them to the idea of the right way. It wasn't just, hey, bang, I'm doing this, send me money. It was... there was a very nice, easy sequence to introduce the business that I've got an interest in to my audience. I documented the first meeting me and Zach ever had. Content is everything. We're documenting this today. Like, from the very beginning of my business, right, we've been creating content, personal branded content, and it's the number one thing still to this day that makes everything else tick.
How much did Dragon's Den help? So you featured on Dragon's Den.
Yeah.
How much did that help, do you think?
With the raise?
Yeah, in terms
massively,
of
massively. Anytime you get to talk about your business to 3 to 4 million people across the country that you want to launch in, of course there's going to be trolls, haters, but overall, that's a massive win. It's a massive win. And the way that, you know, we used that is we did a sequence of events. We had, you know, we had billboards out the week before the Den across Birmingham with QR codes that people could come and learn about Deliver Me. Obviously, we want to get Birmingham behind it as it's the headquarters for the business.
Yeah.
We had documentary footage of us doing the practice pitch to the whole team, and the team being the Dragons, shutting us down. So we had it, and we told them, look, come into this and crucify us. And my social agendas team, my Deliver Me team, ripped straight through our pitch. But that's what we needed. So then we launched that, and we put that out there beforehand. Then we ran a little, you know, other few bits of pieces of content, hyping it up. Then the day before the Den, we launched the pledge link. 400K in 12 hours before the Den's even happened. Den happens, then we've got that content, people like Stephen Bartlett sharing our content, the app that delivers anything across all his channels, using that content, plugging that into the social media marketing systems we've got. Now all of a sudden we've got not just a massive milestone event, but the momentum's just ticking over because I'm manufacturing that process.
Yeah, I called you about an hour after you aired on, your episode aired on Dragon's Den, and we kind of worked out that it's a lot different to what the audience see. There's a lot more to it. So talk me through like the differences and what people might not know about going on Dragon's Den.
Well, what's crazy is we shot Dragon's Den, like I said, 5 minutes from where we're sitting right now.
Yeah, that was mad as well.
That's a mad coincidence. And a lot of the things people don't realize is we're up there for an hour and a half pitching the business to the
and not 15 minutes.
No, it was 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
7 minutes airtime, right? People think that they cut 15 minutes into 7.
I used to always think, how could these guys just invest off 7 minutes of talking to someone?
No, never happened. So hour and a half pitch, you're actually in the building for like, you know, 2-3 hours, getting ready, running through your pitch and stuff. And then the final thing that people really don't get is it real? You know, we get that question a lot. Is there a director just telling them, say this, say that? And it's legit, man. It really is a powerful platform where you're speaking to 5 incredible entrepreneurs that have smashed it in their respective fields. And it's like basically a mentoring session because they're cutting your business apart, but they're also seeing the opportunity in it. And they're also, some of them are cutting it harder because they want to put other people off. You know, there's all sorts of strategy and tactics because if they like it, and all of them said the same thing, look, we love the idea. You might struggle here, and here, but this is a proven market. It's a proven model. The only thing you're going to need is a lot of raises and a lot of capital. We're like, well, that's what we're here for.
That's a very good point. That even if you're going on there and getting no investment whatsoever, you're leaving with so much value.
Massive value. And honestly, the first thing we did after that, you know, I got asked recently, you know, did you get a box of Ben and Jerry's and just cry yourself to sleep? We left there high on life, right? And we just got so much great insight from these people that we literally just went to the office the next day and we started smashing through all of the changes that we need to make.
Bro, you're talking, if you just had to pay for a session like that, you're talking, with them kind of guests, you're talking hundreds of thousands.
Priceless. They don't even offer it. It's priceless. And that's what I mean. Like, it was just powerful, man. And it was just that validation as well for your idea because none of them shot it down and said, this isn't going to work. It's too off the cuff. So that was just really inspiring. And look, it's upgrading your network as well. You know what I mean? One of the things I say to people when they say, should we apply? Should we apply? I'm like, you know, you're talking about being on a first name basis. I've been watching Dragon's Den my whole life. I'll never forget the moment. Me and Zach are standing there and Peter Jones said, Zach, Aaron, I'm Peter. And then you look at him because he's going to start talking now. But he's like, Zach, Aaron, I'm Peter. I'm like, dude, I know who you are, man. You know what I mean? Like, you're my guy. So that was like, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget it. Because it's like you're just seeing these people on TV all the time and then now he's talking to you about business. And that's all I ever want to speak to Peter Jones about. I want to play golf with the guy. I want to know how can I leverage your knowledge to improve my own businesses. There's stuff they told me in the Den that I applied to social agendas.
Of course,
Big knowledge, knowledge. I'm super grateful for it.
So even at the time, when you went on there, you know, I didn't speak to you a massive amount before you went on, but I kind of quickly realized that you went on there and asked for 50K. and the amount you need and the amount you've raised, that's like a drop in the ocean.
Yes.
So you probably didn't actually go on there just for the money. What was it? Well, I mean, it would have helped, of course. But what was kind of the main thing you
we wanted a dragon. 50k to get a dragon. Come on, that's a bargain.
So you more wanted the involvement.
Of course. We wanted the brand association. And we wanted the knowledge, the mentorship, also access to the teams, right? Because these people, they don't surround themselves with fools. They surround themselves with high performance people. And for us, we were looking for the opportunity to tap into amazing knowledge, incredible brand positioning, especially in the UK market, existing relationships. But even if you get one of those, you're winning and you're further ahead than you were before. And when it comes to the impact and the influence those people have in entrepreneurship here in this country, is unprecedented.
If you could have your pick of the dragons, which one would you
Stephen Bartlett. Stephen Bartlett. Come on, man. It's Stephen Bartlett. He's a big inspiration.
Yeah. Well, he's one of the reasons why I even started the podcast. There's a few people I started the podcast, but he's definitely one. Yeah. And he's, I guess there's a reason now why, he's doing what he's doing and so many people are aware of him. He's a big inspiration. Yeah. Going into Dragon's Den, is it even tough itself getting on there? What's the chances of getting on there?
Yeah. So
how many businesses?
It was only after we raised that 250k or 230, whatever it was. We then got approached, so we got an email from a producer who's like a talent scout or whatever, and she was incredible. She was like, look, seeing that you just raised money, do you want to raise and give a little bit of equity away and come on to Dragon's Den? Yeah. That was 10 months before we actually got aired on the show. Yeah. So then once we had that, went through the process, the best thing I like about Dragon's Den is every single thing you say on the show is validated. So every fact, every claim you make and they show, you have to have shown evidence in documentation, signed off by accountants. We talk about social agendas. Everything has to be validated because otherwise anyone could get up there and just lie through their teeth. Of course. And that's the one thing that took a lot of time, preparing all of our documents. But because we just did the crowdfunding, we already had most of it ready. Yeah. So it was just submitting it all and making sure they had what they needed. But man, a long process, but worth every minute. Yeah. I only say that because I didn't have to do most of it.
Was you nervous going into the pitch? I loved your video, by the way, where it was like, you was like planning it, doing rehearsals, and at the end of the video, it's like, we're just going to wing it.
Yeah, we're going to wing it. And you know what? Nerves, man. Obviously, I've done a lot of public...
Kind of that elevator. Was that nerve-wracking?
Coming through the elevator. So that's another thing, actually. People don't realise the elevator is not an up-down lift. It's just a lift that you walk through. Right, yeah. Imagine if you get stuck in the lift, you've got to call an engineer out, then you're going to be panicking. But nerves. Look, I've spoken in front of massive audiences. I've done it internationally. We've run events in like Brooklyn, all over the world. And like, for me, I couldn't tell you the anxiety that I was feeling before walking out there. Right before walking out there. And I remember one of the producers, right before we walked out there, said, "Oh, how you feeling?" You're not feeling your best. And then, I don't think he was a producer actually, I think he was just like a crew member. But what they're trying to do is, and I know this for a fact, is they're trying to stop you from collapsing with the pressure because there's so much pressure. So they're easing into it. You pitch the producers first, then they get a bigger group, and then they bring a massive group. Really? And you're just doing it over and over again. And then like, all right, these lot are ready. Let's get them in. Yeah. But then right before we're going into the real thing, I was like, "How you feeling?" And I was like, "I'm ready. Like, let's go." But I had to walk off because for me, I like being in motion. Motion brings me new ideas. It keeps me flowing. And I just literally had to pace around backstage again. We've been pacing around for like an hour and a half in the back room to just stay in motion, stay ready, because they don't tell you when you're going to come out either. Yeah. So it's like at the drop of a hat, right, you're on, because they don't want you to have that deadline blowing your head up. Yeah. I guarantee if they ever did that, people left and said, "I can't do this," and just run out the door. Yeah. And the anxiety was real, man, for sure.
What was you worried about? Maybe like getting your numbers wrong?
You know what? The one thing I was worried about, it sounds silly, yeah? Yeah. As you're walking to your cue spot on the floor, I was worried about hitting one of those wooden, floorboards and tripping over. That was my real fear.
Stupid shit that was never going to happen.
Yeah. I was like, you know what happened?
Yeah,
If your first impression on the show, you face plant in front of the dragons.
Do you reckon they'll cut it off or they'll just put it on?
I have no idea. Yeah, it'd be great TV, wouldn't it? But yeah, that was my, that was one thought I had. And then also, you know what, I was just, you want to nail your pitch, you want to nail your numbers. And you know what, I went up there, I felt like we did a flawless pitch. It was amazing.
Yeah.
But I didn't even tell them what the equity they were getting for that money was.
Oh, was it?
And they had to ask me, but yeah, I was like, yeah, we want £50,000 to invest in our on-demand delivery app, Deliver Me. And they're like, yeah, but for what?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh. But it kind of broke the ice as well, so it was a blessing in disguise.
No, that's it. That's cool, man. Want to finish this up with just a little quick fire round that we do.
Cool.
It's just like, it's not one worders, but it's minimal words. And I sort of maybe get interested and want you to elaborate on something. So first question, common social media marketing mistakes.
Overspending, not having good enough content, not understanding psychology and how to actually hook people with the right language, not having a product that's ready to go to market, not having any idea about your customers and not enough research. And all of this is business mistakes, really. Social media, not having high quality content, not posting at the right times of day, not being specific for what action you want your potential customer to take. People just float around this idea of posting their products, pictures are going to make it sell. No, you got to tell people, buy this product because XYZ will happen in XYZ time.
Yeah. A question just popped up. In terms of content, you have to pick one. I know both would be better, but you have to pick one. Quality or quantity?
Quantity.
Quantity?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All day long. We've had videos that we've shot on iPhones that have made hundreds of thousands of pounds more than the same business shooting a high production 3K video. So quality is nowhere near as important as the product and the benefit.
Yeah. Nice. So we've gone through mistakes, marketing tips.
Tips. Do the opposite of everything I said with the mistakes. I saved time on that question.
Go back through that.
Now, tips for marketing.
Are you going to give us some?
Yeah, man, of course. Marketing tips, man. Understand human psychology. Start looking at human psychology. How do you get into the mind of people's wants and needs? That is the best tip I can give anyone, because it doesn't matter what social media platform, even if you're going to do billboards, you need to know this theory of how human beings work and process info about what they want and need, and you can apply it to anything. So focus on the high level macro stuff psychologically.
Nice. What do you think is the most powerful platform, social media platform?
Instagram.
Insta? Why so?
We just make the most money on it.
Yeah.
The most sales we make come through Instagram ads. Facebook and Instagram ads, but Instagram, when it comes to product-based businesses, because the platform's so heavily centered around imagery and visual, not that so much the text, it sells more, people buy more.
Yeah. What social media trends do you predict over the next 12 months?
I predict TikTok to get even bigger and start rivaling, it already is, Facebook ads for bringing a service that converts a similar amount of performance and sales. I feel like the traditional marketing models, though, are always going to be super powerful. Google keyword search, YouTube and YouTube ads. They're monsters. They're not emerging. That's why people talk about them less anymore, because they're not new. But they've been the backbone to pretty much loads of campaign success for the last decade or two. So understand what new technologies there are, but also look out for how do you leverage established technologies like Facebook, Instagram ads.
Yeah. I think you can monetize TikTok just as well as other platforms.
The ads manager is built, it's literally a rip-off of Facebook. If you go onto TikTok ads manager, it's literally everything's almost built identically to the way that Facebook ads manager works. They've even got people who used to work at Facebook working for TikTok. So they've basically just copied the model.
Do you think entrepreneurship is more so a trait or a learnable skill?
I don't know,
You don't know?
Entrepreneurship is just, what's an entrepreneur? Someone who has multiple business interests, multiple businesses. What's the definition?
Yeah. But, from being very good at it.
Yeah, being good at building businesses.
Yeah.
Is that a skill or can it be learned?
So I'm sure you're going to say it can be learned, but in terms of, is it more so a trait or is it more so swaying towards learnable?
I think you're talking about nature versus nurture.
Yeah.
I think there's an element of both. But for me, for sure, I think some of the best entrepreneurs and highest performers in the world, they all have some kind of trigger in their childhoods and some kind of trauma behind why they're so fixated on never being without money ever again, for example.
I saw a post that you did talking a bit about that.
Exactly.
Is that what drives you, do you think?
Well, that's one of 20 examples, bro, from my childhood around money.
So what it was you at a grocery store when you was young.
Yeah.
Your dad couldn't afford the shopping. You know, when you get there and you overspent, so he's had to go through what he really needs.
Yeah.
It
was embarrassing. It was traumatic. It was, parents just got divorced. My dad never done the shopping before. He refused to go back to work because he lost his business.
Yeah.
So he sat there doing nothing, waiting for someone else to rescue, and save him in a way. And we went to do the shopping. We've picked up food that we need. And then on the busiest time of the busiest day in the Safeways in Hell Zone near Birmingham, we get to the till. It doesn't show you the running balance, does it? It's only when they hit bang, total. And they put this total up. It's way more. And I've been shopping more times than that guy, man. I'm like, this guy can't afford this, right? It's just food, man.
You say no.
And then obviously you're just playing your part, aren't you? But then standing there, all this massive queue starts building up, and we're now having to look at scanning all the stuff that we don't think we need.
Yeah.
And we're now making decisions about food we can't afford, man.
Yeah.
And for me, that is like, it was, I don't care what people think, but at the same time, like, I'm not worried about what people think. I'm worried about fucking eating. You know what I'm saying? Like,
definitely.
Who's feeding me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like, it runs into the thing of my dad used to take us to the Sikh temple all the time. And, we used to be doing this thing called Seva, which is a big part of Sikhism and the faith. And, I love so much about the faith. And when we used to go to the temple, I didn't realize at the time, this guy's living like literally at the temple every night, 7 to 9, doing his seva. But in every Gurdwara, they offer something called langar, and that's God's kitchen. So you get to eat for free at the temple. So we're there thinking this is all about God and getting blessings and, practicing the faith and committing our time and learning discipline and all the amazing things that come. And it was about that.
Yeah.
But the reality is, he didn't have money to pay for our food. Unless he took us to someone's family house. So all of these things, right, were kind of stripping us as a family of independence. We couldn't make choices. I mean, that for me, not just that example, but the 10 million examples I have, right? I won't go into all of them, but those are key drivers, especially as a father now, where if social agendas went down tomorrow, touch wood, never, God forbid, and Deliver Me was no longer a thing, and I couldn't add any value as a consultant and create a new training business or something like that, I would go and get a job because my son has to eat. I have to provide. So for me, business is that vehicle to not only having the necessities covered, but also having a level of comfort in life where it's aspirational and we feel that we are able to give more. You make more, you can give more. If you want to commit to something, make money so you can help people and give it away. Yeah.
Clip that up. That's what the money game is, bro. That's literally what it is.
There's this guy, man, I'm telling you, Alex Hormozy, man. Honestly, I've just been put onto his content.
Someone, Jazz, who I did the podcast with as well, recommended him as well.
This guy's unbelievable. And it's massive success. He's selling nothing. He's got some business that acquires other training businesses. But this guy, he's got so many gems, right? And
he's got long hair.
Long hair, big.
And he always wears a hat.
Big mustache.
Yeah, I follow him.
Yeah. But he's not even that big on socials compared to like other guys. But this guy, he's got so many gems, man. And one of the things he says is first you need to match people, then you surpass them. So don't be afraid to copy what's working for other people just because they're doing it. You know what I mean? Just because someone's got a great podcast, don't be afraid to build a podcast. And then once you've matched them, take over with your new ideas and creativity. But yeah, man, that kind of pain association, I see it in all of the biggest successes in my mentorship program. Like these people, they have something which is more than just the pleasure of achieving a goal. It's something that they'll never want to go back to, driving them forwards. And for me, it's the same thing. No,
I'm glad we got that from you, because that is literally what I want people to understand this podcast is about. And even had a bit of hesitation calling it the money game, because when it's called that, the first thing people associate money with is Lambos, watches. But then I want to build a community of people that are doing this that's cool, as long as it's secondary. But the primary thing is building, like what you said, being an entrepreneur and building businesses to be able to go into the deeper side of money, that choices, freedom,
community.
And just at some point, it gets times where you just got to feed your family, bro. You need money for that. That's why I was
survival.
That's why I was asking you before about someone who maybe is not necessarily interested in something, but sometimes they just got to make money, bro.
Yeah, but
for the deep reasons. But I get what you're saying.
But you could apply that to the negative side as well, the dark side of the force. I just need to make money instead of getting a job, sell drugs. That ain't the answer.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? That's a business enterprise in itself.
That's true. But as well, money is making money, but not ethically. To the point where you're going past.
Well, the thing I was going to say about Alex Hormozy, I forgot. He says anyone who says money doesn't buy happiness hasn't given enough away. Real talk.
Real talk.
It's
what it depends what you're shopping for.
He's a legend.
Yeah. 100%.
And just gems like that. You know what I mean? Like anyone who hasn't, anyone who says money can't buy you happiness hasn't given enough away.
That's it.
For real. Help people. Create jobs.
Yeah.
Pay tax.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like do what you got to do, but eventually you'll have enough to share.
Yeah. No, I love that. What was your first acknowledgement of money? Or the importance of money?
Yeah. You're taking me back now, man. So
it usually starts from childhood, doesn't it?
So I'd say it was when, first of all, it was pocket money. So I was getting pocket money. Then it was actually, my first acknowledgement of money was started car washing for my next door neighbor, a guy called Ivan.
Right. How old?
Ex-military. He was like greyed up, hair.
How old was you?
Oh, how old was I?
Yeah,
I was like, I must have been 8 years old or something, 9
Serious?
years old. Yeah, definitely. And he had this little red Peugeot 106, and it was obviously a small car, so it was manageable.
Yeah.
So I'd take this big tub of soapy water over, carry it around the fence, go around to his house. But because he was quite old, and he's passed away now, so rest in peace, Ivan, but because he was quite old, he never really went anywhere.
Right.
So if I washed his car today, it's going to be clean for a month.
Yeah.
But he was paying me $5 a wash.
Right.
Now, inflation's obviously taken place, so people are going to charge a lot more now. But as a kid, getting a £5 note, you know how many sweets that would buy me. So I'm a sweets guy as well, so I'm not into chocolate, so I like sweets. And so what I started doing was, I started knocking on his door saying, "Oh, do you need your car cleaned?" And he's like, "No, it's only been 3 days." And then this theme emerged, and what I started, I used to kind of look after me before my parents would come back from work. So after I got back from school, I'd sit in his house for 2 hours. So I won't lie, when I was in the garden and I was kicking the football around, I'd try and make sure some dirt got on his car. He had loads of flower beds. He's a proper gardener.
Yeah.
And I did try to make his car dirty once or twice, and he noticed because he loved his flowers so much, not the car. But that was really the first time I had done something for someone and they'd pay me directly from it.
Yeah. But can you remember why you wanted to do that? You was only 8.
Sweets.
And
there was no trauma at this time, man.
Yeah.
Life was great.
Yeah.
I just wanted some sweets, man. I just wanted to go to the newsagents, Mr. Patel, and grab as much as possible.
Oh, I love that. So after going on Dragon's Den, so you would have got quite a lot of marketing and a lot of new followers.
Not really.
No?
No.
Awareness, anyways.
Awareness, 100%.
All right. Well, even before that, anyways.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've had quite a bit of trolls.
Yeah.
A lot of trolls that follow you. What's the funniest online troll you've had?
Funniest?
Yeah. Where you read it and you're just like, all right, I can only laugh at that.
Bro, trolls ain't funny, man. Yeah, you're talking about mental health right here, bro. Like, you put your whole life and soul and you be vulnerable and you be transparent online, and some man, woman, monkey, chimp, you don't know who it is behind them because it's a fake profile.
But there's none that you like, all right, that's just
none that come to mind. You know what? I don't give energy to the negativity, man. I don't give energy to negativity. Like, the moment you start engaging with trolls is the moment you're losing that game. You've lost sight of where the focus is supposed to be. And I've had trolls. Forget Dragon's Den. You know what? There was hardly any trolls on Dragon's Den. Actually, if you go, I don't even look for it. This is what I'm saying. Like, it's oblivious to me. you can go on the YouTube video on BBC and go and find 1 million comments from people, or however many, about everything and anything, you know, racism, bro, it's real, man, you know what I mean? And you get to a point where as soon as you run social media ads, you get trolls straight away.
Yeah.
So for me, I've been dealing with it for 6 years. I'm not bothered about trolls. I'm actually coaching clients on how to manage their trolls. But funny, bro.
But I feel like when you get to a point where you're laughing, you overcome it to a degree.
But I don't even see it. I don't even acknowledge it. Like, and to be honest, you're playing a dangerous game there with your mental health, because you think you're going there for comedy, and then someone slates you and your whole heritage. It ain't that time, is it? And you don't know who it is. Could be the closest people to you. Could be your staff.
Bro.
I'm being real. Dangerous game, man. Funny trolls. They fuck trolls, man.
I recommend. I normally do 3, but I think people have been struggling from the top of their head. So I recommend 2 people for this podcast that you think would be good for this podcast.
2 people straight off the bat.
Yeah, or 1 if you can only do 1.
God,
but I need someone.
You're gonna get me in trouble, man, because I've got such a big network of people, and they're gonna say,
"Oh,
why was I top 2 on your podcast recommendation?"
Because it's off the top, innit? They understand.
It's off the top.
But then you can recommend them later anyway, so it's cool.
You know what? My 2 business partners, Jack Mattison and Zach Lloyd, get them on. I can't get in any trouble for that.
Individually or at the same time?
Whatever, bro. Nah, individually.
Individually.
Yeah, but they're going to have to bring some heat because they're going to follow on from this. So
there you go, damn.
Yeah, but I'll give you some more recommendations, of course, off camera.
Yeah.
I gotta be politically correct these days, dude. I can't just be, giving favoritism these days. I got a whole roster of 30, 40 clients, man. They're going to, why don't you put me on?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
No, Aaron, man, thanks for coming on.
Thank you, bro.
Really enjoyed that.
Appreciate
so much
it.
value there, bro.
Respect.
Love.
Thanks.
Thank you.